Hello, welcome to Pilates Matwork on this first Friday of November at time of recording. So yes, you will notice a Christmas tree here in the beginning of November. I am one of those fools that decorates on November the 1st. So I'm happy to debut my first studio Christmas tree here. So you will see this in all recordings through December the 6th that I do. So today's class, we will use a stretchy band. You can also use a regular strap. The stretchy band will just give you a little bit more depth in a couple of the things that we do. Otherwise, that's what we're going to use it for, mainly some stretching and for a bind. You can always not use a strap or a band for the exercises that we're going to do today as well. So just know that this is an option. I'm just going to put that to the side. We'll start seated today. So find a comfortable seat. Now I'm sitting on a blanket here to begin because my hips are a little bit tight. And being that I have been putting up Christmas stuff this week, sharp edges have kind of gone of different things have kind of gone into my rear end a little bit here in my glutes. So I have a couple bruises there from sharp ends. So the blanket makes it just a little bit more comfortable. So finding that nice tall sit, thinking about your ears, your shoulders, and your hips in alignment. Otherwise, your legs can be anywhere that enables you to do that. From here, we're just going to get into the neck a little bit. So being nice and tall. Zip up from pubic bone to behind the navel, belly button in. So a nice strong front supports a nice strong back. And then from here, we're just going to let that chin come to the chest. And I'm breathing as I inhale. I'm expanding that rib cage. Good. Now, for some of you, this is going to be enough. Those of you that are okay in the neck, you don't have any neck issues, if you want to take this deeper and it's safe for you, you can take your hands up and you can let them rest right at the occiput. So the occiput is the curvature of the base of the skull. And then I'm just going to rest them there. And I'm going to let gravity take the rest. So I'm not pulling. I'm not tugging. I'm just letting gravity do the work here. Good. And then from here, I'm going to inhale, exhale, and release. Let's take your gaze and your chin where your ceiling and your wall meet here. Good. So I'm not taking it all the way back. I'm just in that little bit of an angle. If it's okay for you to do so, you can get a deeper stretch here in the chin. Take the jaw forward. It will make a funny face, but it's a nice stretch here. And we'll come back to center. Good. Left ear, left shoulder. Good. So getting a stretch down the right side. And then I will give you a couple options here too. Some of you will stay here and that's okay. Others are going to choose to walk out the right fingertips. You might extend that arm nice and long. Some of you are going to take that left hand right above that right ear. And again, no tugging, no pulling. You're just letting gravity use the weight of your hand to give you something special here. Staying with a breath. And when you're ready, we'll release and we'll come back to center. We'll take that to the other side. So now right ear is going to come to the right shoulder. Relax to the other shoulder. You can stay here. You can walk out left fingertips. You can extend that arm long. Maybe the right hand comes up and rests right above that left ear, letting gravity do the work for you. Staying with the breath. And then we'll release and we'll come back to center. Good. From here, keep your chest and your shoulders, so chest and shoulders forward. As you just take your chin to one side and to the other side, it does not matter what side you start with. Good. For some of you, this might be enough. Others are just going to take that into a little semicircle, drawing that semicircle with the chin, coming up on one side and then the other. So these are also great little stretches here if you spend a lot of time in the car, even if you're not the driver, if you're the passenger side driver like I often tend to be with certain people, then this is great for that. If you sit behind a computer, these are great. Good. Coming back to where you started and coming back center. Good. From here, big inhale, reach overhead. Exhale, get a nice side bend, trying to keep hands, shoulder, and hip in alignment. I'm going to my left first, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Sits bones are grounded. Breathe and expand. You can stay here. You can choose to come deeper. Remember, you can always come out of something that's no longer working for you. You can choose maybe to open towards the ceiling, or maybe you'd like to take that belly button in a little bit deeper, getting the C curve roll here, forehead in the direction of the knee, but not touching. Good. And then from here, we'll open and come back to center. You put your obliques to work, your side abs. Reach, reach, reach. Taking that to the other side. Good. So remember, you can stay here. You can side bend deeper so long as sits bones are grounded. You can choose to open towards your ceiling, or you can choose a C curve roll, forehead in the direction of the knee, but not touching. And remember here too, sides are different. So maybe what you do on this side isn't necessarily what you did on the other side. Inhale and lengthen, and exhale, coming all the way back up. Gentle twist towards the left, taking arms down, rolling shoulders behind you, looking a little bit more. And we'll inhale and lift, exhale center, inhale, exhale to the other side. Rolling shoulders back, looking a little bit more behind you. And coming up and coming back to center. Good. From here, we are going to roll forward. We're going to come to all fours, and we're going to warm up the spine a little bit more here, but we're also going to get into the core and the shoulders a little bit more. So from here, I'm just going into some basic cat-cows. Don't forget to take care of your knees or your wrists with extra cushion if you need that. I'm spreading through the fingers nice and wide. I'm rooting through the knuckles of pinky, pointer, and the thumb. My arms are long here. I'm pressing that mat away from my shoulders. My belly button is in. Inhale, strand that heart forward, tip that pelvis back, nice cow pose. Exhale, really round mad cat pose. Good, 2 more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Now from here, I'm just going to come back just a little bit here for a moment. We're going to go into some protraction and retraction, some scapular mobility, and it might be best for you to see if I take off this top layer. Good. So you can see my shoulders working just a little bit better. Good. So from here, we'll take our arms forward, and you can sit how I'm sitting, or you can find another way to be. But we're going to reach forward. I'm protracting and retracting, and protracting and retracting. Protracting and retracting. Some of these, sometimes in different positions, we call this scapular push-ups. This is all about scapular mobility. Some people call them scapular slides. It's all the same thing. Good. Now from here, we're going to take this to all fours. Good. Now we're going to come to the sternum drop. So it's the same thing. You're still protracting and retracting. But when you retract, you're letting the sternum, the chest, drop towards your floor. Good. And then we'll press away. Protract, retract, protract, retract, protract, retract, protract, retract. Remember these. We're going to come back to these later in class. So now I'm going to take my hands just a little bit more forward. We're going to continue to warm up here. So if what I'm about to do, which is a type of push-up, is too much for you, go back to your scapular slides, work on that mobility. This is all about what this work is. So from here, your hips will come back a little bit on these, but I'm going to let my elbows just come back a little bit and press up. So I'm keeping my chest nice and even. I should have said I'm keeping my shoulders even. I'm trying not to let them collapse. I'm not taking forearms and elbows all the way to the ground, so it's about halfway. Good. Some of you will stay there. Some of you will take a break. Some of you are going to come forward just a little bit. Same thing, only halfway. And then maybe you come back a little bit. Moving forward, be in control. Belly button is in. Kind of think about it from a yoga perspective. You're doing that half chaturanga, that half push-up. And we'll take one more. These are harder. Good. From here, find a little child's pose. Maybe cupcake the fingertips. Decompress those wrists just a little bit here. Good. Now, when you feel okay to move, we'll take the hands back down. We don't want to wait there on the fingertips. And we're going to continue to work on upper body mobility and a little bit of trunk integration here. So we're going to go into a thread the needle. We're going to open up with a couple dynamic movements before we come into the big one. So I'm going to start. I really want to stabilize on my left side. I'm just starting on the right side because that's the side facing the camera. But from here, belly button is in. I'm going to open, good, and get a little scoop. And open and little scoop. Open, little scoop. Now on this next open, it won't look perfect, but you'll take your arm up here where you can. Good. And then we're going to scoop underneath. This arm, the supporting arm, is going to bend as you do that. Good. Think about the top of the head a little bit here to the mat. Your opposite ear is a little bit more towards the ceiling. Pressing through that other hand, and we'll come up. Good. I'm just going to turn around to this side just so that my back is not to you. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that. Good. So from here, same thing, other side. So stabilize through your right side this time. We're going to open to the left and get a little bit of a scoop, belly button in. Open to the left, little scoop, open to the left. And we'll hold here just for a moment. Good. Now we'll take it through and scoop. Take it all the way into your thread the needle. Belly button is in here. You're in rotation. And when you're ready, we'll press through and we'll come all the way back up. Great work here. Cross those ankles, taking it back. We're going to come back onto our backs now. I'm just going to scoot down on my mat. Good. So carefully help yourself come down there. Have your band nice and close by, because we'll use that while we're down here. Good. Now give yourself a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. And then find your safe neutral. So safe neutral, your tailbone is connected and heavy. Think about the hip bones and your pubic bone being nice and even on this plane. Okay, so you don't have the pubic bone being up and the hip bones down, or hip bones being up and pubic bone down. You're looking for that evenness. So you should have a little bit of space in the small part of the back. My low rib cage is connected here. I'm rolling my shoulders back. Good. From here, we're not going to go into pelvic clock, but we will do some little pelvic curls. So I'm just going to rock the pelvis forward and back. Good. Your belly button is in. So we're still zipping up from the pubic bone to behind the navel. Good. Now from here, find your safe neutral. Good. Find the position of your feet and legs as we come up into a bridge. So on these bridges, you don't want your feet too far away, but you don't want them to be too close into the glutes either. Hips, knees, and toes are going to track. And then from here, we're going to rock it. I'm going to rock that pelvis back, peeling up one vertebrae at a time as I lift my hips into my bridge. Your body will let you know when you should not come up any higher. And then starting from the mid-back, you'll lower that down one vertebrae at a time, like you're lowering a string of beads, and coming back into neutral, rocking it back, taking it back up, and rolling it back down. Good. Now I'm moving here at a moderate pace. If you are someone that needs to move through these slower, please move through slower. Honor where you are in your practice. Good. And we'll go one time. And we're coming back up. Good. We're going to hold this up here the next time you come up. So again, watch your hips, your knees, and your feet. They're facing forward and parallel. We're going to lower halfway, squeeze and lift, halfway, squeeze and lift, halfway, squeeze and lift. Now, left hip's going to drop. Your right hip will come up a little bit when you do that. Even it up. Good. Going into the other side. Belly button's nice and tight here because you are taking things into rotation. Good. From here, we'll even that back up. Inhale, exhale, we'll lower that back down. Good. We're going to do our one leg bridge here. So some of you are going to keep both feet on the ground and skip one leg bridge because that's where you are in your practice. That's okay. Those of you that are okay with it, take your right knee up into tabletop position. We're going to lift with the left side. So from here, when you're ready, big inhale, exhale, we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep that leg in tabletop or take that leg straight up. You choose. And lift and lower and lift and lower. Lift, lift, lift. Lower, lower, lower. Good. Do a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. We're going to take that to the other side. So from here, remember, both feet grounded, or maybe left leg in tabletop to start. Inhale, exhale, pressing up 1 and lower. And 2 and lower. Stay here or your leg can reach long. Good, and lower. And lift. And lower. And lift. And lower. Let's try one more. And lift. And lower. Good job. Take both knees into the chest. We'll rock, 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 side to side. Good. From here, when you're ready, I'm going to give some different options here. So we're continuing to work the core. So you've got your alternating toe taps here. So remember, if you're toe tapping, you've got a right ankle at the not the elbow, but the knees, and a right ankle at the hip. So you're only moving from the hip. Notice how I don't change the ankle or angle in my knee. And my goal is not to tap the floor. My goal is to hover. Okay, so that's going to be what some of you do. Others, those of you that are a little bit stronger, your legs are going to be long, and then you're going to take your leg into a long hover and lift. Good. Whenever you're ready, we'll start. So here's 1. Going into 2. Belly button in. Stay in safe neutral. 3. 4 with the smile. We're still breathing and expanding. 5. Good. Here's 6. Some of you will stop here. Others will continue on with me for 8 total. So here's 7 and 8. Whew. Take those knees into the chest. Rock, 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 side to side. Good. From here, take your feet to the floor. I'm going to take my arms behind me. I'm going to let my arms come to my right. My knees are going to come to my left just for a little bit. Nothing too deep here. Use your abs as you come back through center, arms and knees to the other side. Good, and we'll come back. We're going to go right into the hundreds from here. So remember, practice where you need to practice. Do your feet need to be grounded? Are you going to be in a tabletop position? Are you going to be in long diagonal line? The lower you go, the harder it is. So you choose where you want to be. So I'm going to demo with tabletop knees today. From here, big inhale, zip up nice and tight, belly button in. Exhale, nodding the chin. We're going to reach, 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 nice and long. Relax the shoulders. Your gaze is to your thighs. We start pumping here. And we inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift higher. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, reach deeper. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hold. Lift higher, reach deeper if you can. Exhale, take that down. Woo. We'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side. Let's gently take head and neck from side to side. So something I often forget to say, but I am going to say it here before we go into series of 5. Remember, if you're working in the C curve, you feel tension in the neck, you've tried a little bit of a deeper neck tuck, you can't get out of there, lower the upper body. Please don't stay there where you're not comfortable. So from here, knees on tabletop, going right into series of 5. I'm going to cue this as a continuous flow. If you need to take breaks, you take them. Good. So I'm going to cue up to 10 today. If you need less, please do less. Okay, work where you're at. So inhale, exhale, I'm going to find my C curve. Left knee's going to come in, right leg's going to go long. And here's 1, 2, 3, really reach. 4, hips stay grounded. 5, 6, 7, 8, don't forget to breathe. 9, and 10. Good. Scissors. I think this is 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. Another 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. 1, 2. Good. Double leg stretch. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Taking it down, legs up and lower for 1, 2. I'm doing not in the C curve today. 3, 4, but you're welcome to if you want to. 5, 6. Watch your lever. 7, 8. Stay in neutral. 9, 10. Knees bend. Hands behind the head. Lift up. Crisscross. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Really rotate. 5, 6. Lead with the shoulder. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo. Take that down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's go to a twisty here. Kind of stretch that out a little bit. Arms to the side. Knees and tabletop. Dynamic twist to begin here. Just coming over to the left a little bit. Use your obliques. Coming back through center. Coming to the right. Coming back through center to the left. Coming back through center to the right. Good. This time when we come back to the left, we'll take it all the way over to the left. Hopefully, right shoulder can remain grounded, looking to the right. Breathe and expand that rib cage. Yes, you might be tired, but feel the energy that you get from that series. And then from here, head back to center. Good. You choose one leg at a time or use your abs to bring both knees back into center, and we'll take that over to the other side. Left shoulder's grounded as you look to the left. And let's blink it out of the way here. Breathe and expand. Good. Head back to center, one leg at a time, or use your abs to come back in. Good. Take your knees into your chest. We'll rock, rock, rock side to side. Good. We're going to take the feet down here. We're going to come into another little stretchy, and we're going to use the stretchy band for this one. We'll go into some circles after that. So I'm going to start by taking this band or a strap, if that's what you're using, nice and flat around that foot. Okay. Your other knee can be bent or extended long. That's going to be up to you. So I like to pull straight down here. Some people like to wrap. Either way is fine. Find what you like, what you need. Good. And then from here, so you can pull straight down, I'm actually going to change my grip and take it behind me because I have more range of motion here. So you can do that too. Remember, the benefit of the stretchy band is that it stretches. So you have a little bit more give than maybe you would if you were in a strap. But keep a little micro bend here. Good. Now I'm still thinking about lengthening from crown to tail. My belly button is still in. Good. We'll release both bands or straps into the left hand. Both hips are going to stay grounded. Both shoulders are going to stay grounded as you take that leg out to the left. Good. So really anchor through your right side. If you can't keep that right side grounded, your leg's too far out to the left, lift it up a little bit. Good. From here, we're going to take that leg back up. We'll extend the right leg long if you had it bent. Good. We're going to switch out hands here. Good. So different things for different people. Some of you are going to keep a long leg. Some of you are going to put a bend in the knee. Those of you that are going there, you might have to kind of move that leg around a little bit here to find your sweet spot, but we're going to arc it over. If you want to take this leg all the way over into full twist, that's fine, but keep the leg in line with the hip. Try not to let the foot flop on the floor. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll take that back to center. Good. Now, make any adjustments with your stretchy band here if you need them. Good. I'm going to pull straight down here so I'm nice and connected. Your other knee can come back into a bend if you need it. But from here, I'm really going to lengthen the spine. I'm really going to take the abs in, so belly button is in. And I'm going to come into a little bit of a circle here. Now, yes, you are moving the femur around in its hip socket, which is a good thing. But this is also ab work. This is where your core stability comes from. So you're not doing this number and being totally out of control. You're using your abs to control this movement. The stretchy band gives you a little bit added resistance with it, but as you know, we've done it before, you can totally do this exercise without a band or a strap. Good, let's reverse. That was probably about 8 or so. We'll try to do about 8 or so on this side. The larger the circle, the more control you need to control this movement. The smaller the circle, the more control you'll have. It's not necessarily easier. They still work. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll come back in and we're just going to do a midair switcheroo and we're going to take that whole series to the side. So again, this knee can be bent or extended long. We're going to go into the hamstring stretch here. If you're using stretchy band, make sure your band is flatter on the foot so it does not roll, snap, and hit you in the face. So from here, whenever you're ready, you'll take your arms where you need to take them, micro bend in your knee. We're still lengthening through the spine. Belly button is still in here nice and tight. We're still breathing and expanding that rib cage. Good. And when you're ready, we'll release. Good. Both bands into that right hand. Your left knee can stay bent or you can extend that leg long. That's going to be up to you. Good. We'll take that leg out to the right. So remember, you really want to engage and anchor that left side. And when you're ready, we'll take that all the way back up. Good. This time, your left leg will come long if you had it bent. We'll switch out hands here. So you might do it the same way or do it differently on this side, depending on you. So a long leg or a bent knee, you might have to move that leg around here to find your sweet spot. Good. You can take it all the way over to the twist if you'd like, if you don't want to stay in the 45 degree, but keep your leg in line with the hip. Notice how I'm not letting my foot flop on the floor. Good. And when you're ready, we'll carefully bring that back in. Good. You can bring a bend back into that other knee or keep that leg long. Again, that's going to be your choice. Find a grip, an arm position that's going to work for you. And then from here, we're going to go through those circles. So tight, tight core. It doesn't really matter what direction you start with. We're going to do the same thing in both directions. but find your range where you can maintain control. Remember, my pelvis is not moving. My hip, my femur is just gliding around in its pocket. I'm using my abs to control this movement. Good, and when you've done about 8 or so here, we'll reverse that direction. Good. Now when you've done about 8 here, good, we're just gonna bend that knee. We're gonna release that band. Good. From here, bring your knees in. I'm gonna rock, rock, rock side to side for a moment. So some of you are gonna work with me, rolling like a ball. Some of you are gonna roll over to your side and come into a seat. So you choose where you need to work here. If you're rolling like a ball, take a few, not just one, but I'm gonna tuck the chin, I'm C-curving, and I'm trying to use my core and my abs to roll. So I'm trying not to swing my legs here and coming all the way back up. Good. From here, we are going to just come back a little bit here. Good. So we're just going to do a couple little spine stretches forward before we come onto our bellies and our side for some nice work here too. So find an anterior tilt in the pelvis, and I'm actually going to bring my blanket back in here to sit on, just so that I'm a little bit more comfortable. Now, the other nice thing about a blanket, just as an FYI, if you're tighter in the hips or tighter in the low back, sometimes sitting up a little higher can help with that a little bit. So find an anterior tilt of the pelvis. So that just means your hip bones are going to rock forward a little bit. Your tailbone is going to come back a little bit. Support the backs of your knees if you're super tight back here. Otherwise, don't try to jam them in the floor. Good. My feet are about mat width apart here. I'm going to take my arms forward. Now we're going to come back to what we did in the beginning. Think about that protraction and retraction again. So we've got protraction reaching forward and retraction, and protraction and retraction, and protraction and retraction. Just for fun, let's take the arms out into a V. Good. So it kind of looks like that. And protract and retract. Feels slightly different. Protract, retract, protract, retract, protract, retract. We'll take them back forward. Good. So zipping up nice and tall from pubic bone to behind the navel, nodding that chin. Think about there's a rope behind you, so you want to get the C curve. We're trying not to do this hip hinge here. We're trying to really get into that spine, really reaching and rounding forward. And then when you can come no more, starting from the tailbone again, we're just going to stack one vertebrae at a time, bone by bone, coming all the way up to that nice tall sit. And again, nodding the chin, zipping up, round, round, round. Good. Let this be an opportunity for you to reach, reach, reach. Think about the protraction with the reach. And then from here, we're going to stack once more. We'll do that one more time because these are just so good. Also remember, if you're having trouble with the stack, the round, the peeling, however you want to define that, this is a great one to practice at a wall, peeling off the wall and peeling back up on the wall. Good. So from here, we're just going to relax, relax, relax here. I'm going to turn and face you. And I can't do these with my blanket here, so good. I'm just going to grin and bear it. Good. So from here, we're going to come to Mermaid. So my mermaid feet happen to be facing my right side this time. So I like to tuck the bottom foot in behind here. Ultimately, it's about where can you be here where you're a little bit more comfortable. Think about energetically taking this hip down a little bit. It will not be a perfect anchor, okay? But you want to think about taking it down just a little bit. So from here, I'm just going to have my hand on my shin or my ankle. I'm going to reach and lengthen. And I'm just going to take a side bend over. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to take that arm down and get another little side bend over. Good. And then we'll come up. We'll take it over. We're going to add on rotation this time, taking it up, taking it over. Maybe we touch the floor, maybe we don't. And then we'll open to the side, coming back up as we counter stretch, maybe a little rotation towards the foot. Good. Opening, taking it over. Good. A little bit of rotation. Opening up, taking it back. We'll take it over, maybe rotation. We're going to add on one more thing here, a little bit of a push-up, taking it up, taking it over. Find rotation. You need to have rotation. You need to be able to have both hands on the floor for this push-up. And then from here, elbows will come straight back. We'll press up. We'll open, come up, and we'll get that little rotation. Good. From here, we're going to come. I'm going to give you some options here. We're going to do some side series stuff. So some of you will stay up here. Make sure you're nice and supported in the shoulder and you're not hanging down here. So you want to be lifted. Others will follow me coming into a forearm. Okay, again, you're supported in the shoulder. You're lifted as much as you can from the rib cage. Others are going to come all the way down here because that's where it's going to be best for you. So from here, I'm just going to stack my feet now. I'm zipping up and I'm lifted. And I'm going to open once. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. From here, now I'm going to take that leg long. Good. I'm going to have a little bit of a point of the foot, and I'm going to lift. 1, 2, 3. Lift through center. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're coming back to those circles. Even the leg up in line with the hip. Good. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side. 1, 2. Feeling the burn now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew, you decide, stay up or come down. We're going to bend that knee and take it long. Flexion in the foot, drive through the heel. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5. Belly button is still in. 6, 7, whew, and 8. Good. Some of you are going to take that leg long. Maybe you let it come down. I'm going to take my arm up. I'm just going to get a nice little side stretch here. Whew. Just because that feels good. Good. From here, when you're ready, let's get a little bit of a stretchy here. I'm just going to take this foot up. I'm going to bring this in, changing things up a little bit from what I had originally planned, but that's okay. We do what the universe has us do, and sometimes that means we deviate from the plan because that's the better idea. All right, from here, when you're ready, we're going to carefully come down. We're going to come down onto the belly. Good. As you come on the belly, have your band or your strap handy here. And we're just going to do a couple swans here. And then we're going to go into double leg kicks. So I'm going to take my hands a little forward into the side of my shoulders. I'm going to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through the low body. So my belly button is in. My pubic bone is into the mat. Good. Some of you are going to lift a little bit here. Careful. Shoulders in their pockets. No crunching in the spine. Others are going to come up a little bit higher. You can come all the way up. Just be mindful. We don't want to be here, and we don't want to be here collapsing. Okay, so you want to be supported. And then we'll lower that down. We'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Actually feels pretty good to the rear end here after that side series. So just do a little wiggle, wiggle here. Good. So one more time. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Belly button in. Find your swan. Is it going to be a little bit? Is it going to be medium? Is it going to be a lot? And we'll lower that back down. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. So I'm going to take my band. Now, my band is probably like a strap too. It's really long. So I'm just going to fold it in half. We don't need it to be its maximum length. Good. Now, again, I'm cueing this with a band or a strap here. If you've got that hand bind in the low back, then you don't need the prop necessarily. So I am going to take this along right along my tailbone here. I'm going to work my hands together as close as I can. Good. Now, I'm going to start with bent knees, and I'm just going to start with my head facing you. So I'm zipping up. My belly button is in. I'm finding just a little bit of a length through that low body, through that tailbone. And then from here, big inhale. Exhale, I'm going to press. I'm going to lengthen, coming up through center. And then I'm going to bend, and I'm going to come back down, looking in the other direction. Inhale, engage. Exhale, lift. And we'll take that back down. Good. One more time each side. Engage. Get nice and set. Big inhale. Exhale. Whew, come up through center. And we'll take that back down. Last one, last side. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Taking it back up. And taking it back down. Good. You can release the strap here. Good. Now, from here, I'm going to take my hands here. I'm going to make a little pillow. My knees are still bent. I'm going to take my knees out towards the corner of my mat, and I'm flexing my feet. Good. And maybe my heels can come together here. Good. So we'll see if I can kind of somewhat show you from that angle what that looks like. Good. So from here, I'm going to lengthen through the low body. I'm going to zip up through my front body. And I'm going to think about squeezing my glutes and pressing my feet straight up towards the ceiling. So I'm getting a little squeeze there right around the gluteal fold and lower. I'm going to count to 8. You take these where you need to take them. Good. So here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Whew. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. Good. Now we're going to transition. We're going to take everything to the other side. So I'm just going to cross my ankles. I'm going to press myself up. If this is not good for your body, this kind of transition, then you transition to where you need to be. And I'm just going to turn onto my side here. Good. So we're going to take our mermaids and our side series now to the opposite side. So getting set for your mermaids on this side, best way for you. Good. So again, think about, you want to energetically take this hip down a little bit. It will not be a perfect anchor for almost everybody, but you want to just think about working it in that direction. So from here, we'll lift and lengthen. Good. We're going to take a side bend towards your feet. Good. Moving through center, taking it over. Good. You can bend the elbow or don't have to. Good. And we'll come up and we'll come over. Good. Adding rotation. Good. We'll come up. Maybe we rotate. Maybe you touch the floor. Maybe you don't. We'll open. Move through center. Taking it towards the feet. Little rotation. Good. Coming back. Moving back. Taking it over. Maybe we rotate. Maybe we don't. So we always want to move in a way that's best for our bodies. And everybody's is different. We've all got something going on somewhere in our body, which is why I do not preach perfection, because it is impossible. Good. Impossible to obtain. Good. Now from here, we're going to take this into that little push-up. So remember, you do have to be able to touch the floor with the opposite arm to be able to do that. Good. So we'll take it down. We'll take it up. We'll open and we'll come up. We'll come over and rotate. Good. From here, we're going to go into that Luscious side series. Yes, it's Luscious because it is good for us. So you choose, are you going to be up here? Are you going to be on the forearm with me, or do you need to be all the way down? So choose where you need to be. Remember, if you're on the forearm or you're lifted up on the hand, you want to be stable and supported in the shoulder, stable and supported in the core. We don't want to hang down here. Good. So we're stacking the knees. Good. And then whenever ready, we'll open once, 2, 3. It's harder for me to maintain good form on the side. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. From here, we'll take that leg long, maybe a little bit of a point, but not so much where we get a cramp. And we'll tap once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Leg's going to be in line with that hip. Little circles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! Bend in that knee, flex that foot. We're driving through the glute. We're driving through that heel for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Whew, good. Leg can come down, arm can come up. Get that little stretch over. Good. We'll come up here. That top leg's going to cross over. We're going to press ourselves up. We're going to give ourselves a nice little hug. Woo, getting into that hip. All right, one more little core challenge here before we take it into back to upper body, kind of where we started. So from here, we're just going to go into teaser preps today. So, and I'm going to give different options for different people as well. So I am actually going to not have my blanket folded as much, but I am going to come back and sit on it. Pardon me while I get that nice and ready. Okay, so from here, good. So I am going to give you some add-ons here, so be mindful. The versions that I give you here with bent knees are going to typically be a little bit easier. The versions I give you with long legs are going to be a little bit harder, especially if you're taller and have really long legs. So really watch your lever, watch your low back, really be tight into the core, okay? So I'm going to take my hands behind me here. Where you take your fingertips is all about what feels good to your shoulders and your elbows, so don't worry about that so much. But from here, you do want to keep a long spine, so we don't want to be kind of slumping here. We want to be supported, so we're making that core work. Good. Now, find your tabletop position. Good. Now from here, we're just going to take it long and lift. 1, 2, 3. Stay there, or we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bend it in. Take a little breath. We're going to go into a little bit of rotation with these. So, ready? If what we just did is enough for you, you know that rotation is going to be harder. You don't want to go there. Do a few more with bent knees and then take a break. It's all good. So from here, we'll start back in the tabletop. Good. You can be in bent knees or long legs. Just kind of roll over to one side. I'm happy to be rolling over the right side first. Good. And then from here. Good. There's the bent knee. You can stay there or you can lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bend in the knees. Come back center. Take that little breath if you need it. We're going to do that same thing to the other side. So you choose. We'll all start with a little bit of a bent knee first, and you'll choose to stay there or go with long legs with me. Whew. Good. My heart rate's coming up. I hope yours is too. From here, taking it a little bit over to the left. Good. And then 1, 2, 3. Stay with those. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whew. We did 8. And we'll take this down. Whew. It's more challenging than it looks. Take your legs long, come up. I'm going to make sure I'm supported there. Good. And fold forward. So if you're sweating, that's a good thing too. When you sweat, you're detoxing your body through the skin. So you should do something that makes you sweat or glow just a little bit each day. And then from here, we'll come back up. Good. From here, we're going to move on from that. So I'm going to cross my ankles. I'm going to come back forward. We're back in all fours. I'll move my blanket out of the way now. Good. So from here, we're going to come back to that sternum drop again. So you're nice and supported here. Chest is going to come to the floor. So you're retracting, shoulders towards the ears, protracting, press away. Think about the P's. Press away, protract. Good. Protract, retract, protract, retract, protract, retract. Now, you want to add on here a little bit more challenge. You can come to forearms. Good. Everything else is the same. Good. Retract, protract, retract, protract. Good. Maybe you're even wanting a little bit more of a challenge here. Maybe you take those knees longer behind you or come into a forearm plank here and protract and retract. Good. This is protract. This is retract. Get my wording right here. Good. Good. From here, when you're ready, drop those knees, child's pose. Maybe cupcaking those fingertips. Going into push-ups here, you're going to choose your push-up. So we did a couple different kinds of push-ups in the beginning. We're going to do a different push-up here. So for these first ones, I'm going to give you an option. So if you want to do a little bit more tricep push-up here with a little bit support, good. Your fingers are going to face the short end of your mat. Elbows are going to come straight back. Maybe you're halfway and come up. You want this to be a little bit more chesty. You'll turn this way. You can turn your hands in just a little bit here. Good. Everything else is the same. Now it's a little bit easier for your elbows to come out to the side and maintain stability as you come this way. Okay, so that's an option. Another option, you can take your knees a little bit more behind you, doing the same thing, or you can be up high in your plank. Choose yours. Good. I'm going to try to do a high push-up here. I'm just going to count to 5. You do what you can. If one good one is all you can do today, take a break after that. Be stable through your shoulders. Belly button is in. And here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to fight for it. Woo. Drop those knees. Child's pose. Maybe cupcake those fingertips. Whew, that's challenging. Good. Last thing here before we come into a deeper stretchy, we're going to take a plank. This is going to be your opportunity to what I call freestyle plank. So it's pretty much any plank that you would like to do. So some of you are going to be up high with knees grounded. Maybe that's your plank. Maybe you need to lift your feet a little bit. Some of you are going to come up here in this high plank. Notice how when I'm in my high plank, I've got a long diagonal line. I'm not letting myself dip. And I'm not up here. This is downward facing dog. This is not a plank. This is a plank, okay? You can also do those on your forearms with knees down or lifted, okay? So I'm gonna try forearm plank here, just because I haven't done one in a while. Forearm plank, you can be in fist or hands down, you choose. We're gonna count from 15. So if you cannot make it to 15, come down when you start to lose your form. It's all good. We'll child's pose from there. So whenever you're ready, find your plank. Good. And here we go. We've got 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Take that back, child's pose. Good. I think we all deserve a stretch here. So that's where we're going to come. So from here, I'm just going to come up here. We're going to get into the hip flexor just a little bit. So I'm going to start by taking my left foot forward here, which is the opposite foot. And I'm just going to do this a little bit more supported by taking my hands down first. Good. So as I get set, think about this back knee. It's behind the hip. Try not to be underneath the hip. Good. For some of you, think about lengthening through the spine here. This is going to be enough for you. Maybe you need to stay grounded. Notice how my heel is grounded here. Others are going to come and be right here. Again, tight through the core. We want to protect low back. Some of you are going to take it into a little bit of a balance challenge, taking the arms up. Good. From here, when you're ready, we'll take that back down. Good. I'm just going to take that knee back. Good. So from here, because my balance is not as good today coming into it, we're just going to take that to the other side. So however you need to get there with support if needed, take that right foot forward. Good, I'm gonna tuck that back knee back a little bit behind my hip here. You choose, do you need to be grounded? Or are you gonna come to the side? Good, think about length in the torso, tight core. Or are you gonna find a little bit of a balance challenge here? Good, and then when you're ready, good, let's take that down. Good, I'm gonna come to a seat. I'm gonna bring my blanket back in here. Good, so one more time with the hip. My left leg just happens to be the one that's kind of on the ground right now. I'm gonna step the other foot over. This heel can be anywhere along here that you need it. And I'm just gonna press in. Think about anchoring this hip down a little bit here. If your foot has to come up, that's fine. Just find that little stretch. Finding length in the torso will help you get there. Good. From here, when you're ready, relax the lower body. Arms out to the side. Good. Take my right leg tends to be on top. Let's just go with the right arm. You can find a nice little hug here. Maybe a lift, maybe a lower, maybe another little lift, maybe a lower. Maybe you can hug yourself a little bit more. Good. Just finding that little stretch. Good. Now, as you release, your bottom arm is going to slide down to the forearm of your top one. And you might have to kind of move up and down here, finding your sweet spot as you take this over to the side. Good. Taking that arm up, we'll take it behind. Good. Nice little triceps. Ooh, triceps really tight. When you're ready, we're going to take that all to the other side. So from here, we're going to switch our legs. Good. Take this foot wherever you need to take it. Think about anchoring down this hip just a little bit here, and then just lengthen, pulling it in. And you might look a lot different on one side than the other. If you notice how my legs are different on this side than they are on the other. It's just how it is, and that's okay. I'm still getting what I need to get. And then from here, when you're ready, you can relax the legs, arm to the side. Good, take that opposite arm on top now. Good, give yourself a nice little hug and a squeeze, maybe a lift, maybe a lower, maybe a little deeper squeeze of a hug, maybe another little lift, maybe another little lower. Good, remember, top arm's gonna lengthen, bottom arm's gonna come underneath. Find your sweet spot along here to get that stretch. And then we'll take that up. We'll stretch this tricep. Ooh, that one's tight too. Should be after those push-ups, right? Good. And then from here, we'll just release and relax. Big inhale in, arms up, and the exhale, come down, growing taller from crown to tail. Whew. Way to go. You made it through this mat work class. I hope that you enjoyed it and enjoyed the benefit of an energetic practice and moving the body. See you again next time. Bye-bye.